It's a party in here. We have 4 people in here today.
Then it means I can bounce, right?
You're already here.
Yeah.
Bounce away.
You, you can bounce. I was
For
like,
what?
I just needed to recruit someone to help us talk shit about you, so that they could be like a third. But wait, before you bounce,
She's not bouncing. She's staying. Basketball.
are you staying, Dineo? Damn it! Someone get in. This is annoying.
What do you mean it's annoying? Like your ass has been partying with us for how long now? You can't be getting
Hey,
confused. I think we
fam,
told you makola munada is fine.
fam. The first 3 letters of both your names are the same. And okay, for me, here's the thing. Ne, I would call a Dineo Dini Wantalwani. So to have a Dini who is just really Dini and not a Dineo is problem same Wantalwani.
Yeah, it's like when people ask me about Dini, they say the other Dineo.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because like it's usually like something like the same way like some people would be like Polly for Paul. So like a lot of people called Dineo are called Dini.
Yeah.
So say hi to Philip, guys. You guys are so rude.
Hi, Philip.
Nah, there's no
Hey,
need for me to greet him because
hey,
he's
man.
my replacement. Like, why the fuck would I be greeting my replacement? Like, why? Well, yo,
Philip.
Philip, he is here.
Yeah.
Uh, wait. Is this one staying or going so that I can know whether to ask her the question now or later before she goes?
Ask her the question anytime.
Are you here or are you not here?
Partly cloud. Butter is partly cloud.
I am here, Mus.
Okay. Let's start with you then. So that I didn't want to lie because I was gonna tell people to go and investigate your YouTube channel. Uh, Congratulations on that, by the way. Uh,
Thank you.
and your sister,
Congratulations.
and your sister. I didn't know
You
she's.
can go watch my shit. Like, all of these people did not give me my money on my birthday. They better
Hey.
go and watch, like, and follow my shit because I'm not playing around with nobody now.
Mm.
Tell us about like the concept. What's the concept behind like your YouTube channel? Uh, I think I already told you about it. Like I liked how ingenious and how ingenious it was in its simplicity, or it is in its simplicity. So are you guys just gonna be like doing the chappies thing every episode, or like are you gonna like switch it up?
So the thing is, I do stupidity for a living, right?
Mm.
So that's basically what I'm gonna be giving people every week. Well, not every week, every second week. I'm gonna
Mm,
give them stupidity. So it's not gonna be that type of thing every week. It's
mm,
just gonna be like just hopefully funny videos every time because that's all I'm about.
mm.
So yeah, that's just it. We're just gonna be doing a whole lot of crazy things on there.
Okay. Yeah, so people go subscribe to Hamakwela. You might have to spell it out for the international viewers, listeners, because 48% of our listenership is from abroad.
Okay.
So
My foreign friends, listen. You people who don't really want to give me my dollars, it's fine. I forgive you. So the channel name is GA space MAKWELA. That's it.
Hamakwela.
It has one video. It depends when you guys are going to be searching it. But for now, it has one video, so that's what you're looking for.
You know what we'll do is we'll put up the link in our YouTube comments section or info what so that they can you know go subscribe and listen. So
Yeah.
you know what I think you should do, Dineo?
Mm-hmm.
You should open an OnlyFans and like not say anything and just drop the link. J. And like
Yeah.
still have the same content you put on your YouTube, but because people are last stuff and they want to see, they are more likely to go to your OnlyFans because that's just how people are.
Exactly. That's what I was talking to Mluleki about just today. That I am planning to open an OnlyFans for my feet. People are fascinated by elbows nowadays.
Not
What?
nowadays. I think it's just like some people have like these hidden fetishes. Like some
Mm.
people are elbow people, some people are toe people, some people are I don't know, like these
Are people
weird.
are people into knees?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. People knees are very important. Like I'm not like fetish into knees, but like I look at someone and say like, okay, like you're pretty, but like what do your knees look like, you know?
Wow.
Sorry, but sometimes the knees do not match you know, the face. It's like, nah, if I could change anything, I change it. Knees and legs are very important, like for me.
So, so we have
Yeah,
established that Paul has a knee fetish.
Yeah.
no, I do not have a knee fetish. I just like, yeah, you gotta have good knees.
Like, like I'm interested in hair. I like men with long hair, like medium to long hair.
Why?
I
It's
don't
not like,
know.
eh?
I don't know. Maybe I wanna put like my hands in it or
Mm.
something. But I really like men with medium to long hair. You know.
I sort of get like why men like long hair. It's like, you know, that giddy up type of thing. But I don't know, yeah, like I guess your fetish with hair is also kind of weird. And I noticed it, like even your white friend, whom shall not be named, that one has long hair.
Exactly. And it's
No,
very silky and golden and shiny. Oh my goodness. And so clean.
Hmm.
That is the type of hair that I like.
I like beautiful hands. Like
mm,
I like maintained hands, groomed hands. You have to have nice hands, man. I don't want to see your hands and think that your toes look the same. So your hands have to be pretty. Yeah, I like
so
pretty hands. And nice cut nails. Polished, groomed, nice.
okay.
Yeah.
So we got hair, knees, hands. This is like this is like I don't know. I think we like briefly had like a 2 minute conversation about it, but it wasn't on here. I think it was like a thing. I'm not even sure whether it was we did. Uh, so like there's always been this. I don't know. I don't know if I could call it beef, but yeah, I guess it's beef. But have you guys noticed that like when like private school and public school kids always have beef with each other, especially like if we both live with all right. Yo, yo.
Yeah, hey, that's the thing, man.
Makhalabit
Hey,
out.
hey, hey. No, Dineo, not that all. Dineo, Valor, hey, she was very COVID, okay.
I like how casual he is about it. I don't know whether it's COVID or. So I was asking her like why is it that like private school babies and public school babies do not like each other? And obviously when you're older you're like, yeah, like you're stupid, but like when you're still in high school, and it's especially like the private school girls or like the private school don't like the public school girls and vice versa, and the same with the guys. Why is it?
You know, what I realized is that it's not only like in schools and stuff, it's like everywhere in life. People just have this people like grouping themselves. They like creating cliques.
Mhm.
And these cliques are usually like people who mostly grew up the same. They can relate to each other's struggles and experiences and whatever. And it's inevitable for them to hate each other. Obviously, the more private ones are gonna like be the ones that are hated the most because the other ones are gonna be like, ah, they're like this and this and this and this. And then yeah, it's always the war of the classes, you know. It's
What
like
are
the
what
king.
are some of what are some of the misconceptions? Obviously, like Worshmore Nostrum is not a private school; it's a Model C school. But like
Mhm.
most people consider it to be a private school. Well, that's what they call it anyway.
Mm.
What are like some of the misconceptions like you've heard like about like Panabautana school guy, like even like when you went to school, what are like some of the misconceptions you think like uh you know kids who went to school in private like in public school had?
You know, there's
Even
always
like
those. You think you're better than other people. You speak English too much.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, like the usual. You just think you're better than other people, and you speak English way too much.
yeah.
And yeah, and we will see where you end up. You know, because and you are most probably not smart. You're just in a white school. Like
That is
that's a
so true.
thing. That's a
That's so
thing. That's a
true.
thing.
That's so
That's
true.
the
That's so
thing.
true.
You know, I have a friend who always brings up like look how many doctors a farming has produced uh, over the past 10, 15 years, but we're school none, I'm like, what does that have to do with anything, So for me it feels like a grievance. Yeah, boy. And I'm like, like maybe people just don't want to be doctors. And like, you know, uh not everything gets put on record, You don't know, for all we know, like they could be 10 doctors, 15. But like, how do we know? How would we know?
Yeah.
but
Well,
You
and
know,
I think
in my experience, going to a Kasi high school and having friends in the Model C school, it was more of that. You guys, like Dineo said, you think you are better than everybody, and there were remarks by people from the Model C schools that they make about Kasi people.
I was getting
These
to that. I was
these
getting to that.
ones, these ones ain't going nowhere. Like, why would you conclude something like that about somebody who's just still in high school?
So they'd say, horror, they're not going anywhere just because you're going to public school.
Yeah, just because we in the
yeah.
Kasi, that just because we in the Lokasi.
but anyway, guys, I think the person was saying like people from public schools are not going anywhere. I mean, possibly it was based on like rational thinking. I mean, if you check, like there are a lot of like disadvantages like in the Kasi schools compared to other schools, you know. Yeah. Because regardless of maybe there are too many issues or too many gray areas. Like for instance, a lot of people who go to private schools, they like have the privilege of like being exposed to like good or proper environment for growing a child. So when you compare that person to a person who's been like not really in a stable family or possibly in the public schools, most of them are from not yeah are from dysfunctional families. So those people, I don't think it's fair to compare them because I mean those people were not uh, exposed to similar things. Those things, I mean, uh, the degree, the indifferences between them are is
I hear what
I
you're
like
saying.
But
I
yeah
I
I'd
I
like to
disagree
disagree with you on something.
as well because I
uh
think like summer tomone, we like we go to school in town, but Oxalai when we came back, we come back to exactly where we live, Wantalwai.
yeah
It's
yeah
not
yeah
Yeah.
like
Paul, think about
it,
it,
it
think about it. Think about this, Paul. Let's say if possibly we can assume if your parents or somebody in your family could afford to take you to a private school, chances are that person is more likely to be educated regardless of like their academic background. That person maybe is like smart in some way. You could see like this is the route, this is how I should like advance my kids compared to like somebody in the public schools. I mean, you get these functionalities at home, then you go to school, then you get the same bullshit again. So for a child, I mean, you think, I mean, this is the way things should be, you see. But for you, when you go to like you, I mean,
uh I hear what
yeah,
you're saying. What you're saying
like
now. You're
if
saying
you
what
But
they
go,
just
it,
clarify one thing. Just because you're
uh,
going to like private or semi-private schools or Model C schools, whatever you want to call them, it does not mean you have like you having a great time because we also faced problems of our
just
own, you know.
no,
different vibes.
understand me, Dineo, understand me. I'm not saying there's not even a single person in this world who's not suffering in some way. You understand me? But when you look at like somebody from the Kasi, like for an example, if if you're growing up in a family or household where there's somebody who's very educated or somebody who's like disciplined in some way, somebody who's more advanced in life, I should say, regardless of like different categories of being advanced in life, compared to somebody who's in a public school. You understand me? It's not really, I don't know how should I say this. It's
Let
like
me help you.
even the knowledge that you are exposed to, you see, because it sort of builds you up as a kid. You understand me? It's not really entirely going to a private school, you see, because like going to a private school plays like I don't know, maybe 30% of your life, but you're the a lot of the things that that you're taught from home, like they like yeah, they advance you. Uh, so
I think
well,
I think what Philip is trying to say, Dino, ne, is
Mm-hmm.
that um here's what I noticed from like where we live, ne.
special could be
The public school is like basically mainly just focused on giving you an education on Talwai. It's basically like you coming to school to learn about what's in the books, in the textbooks on Talwai.
Yeah.
Whereas
I Paul, I'm not
let
sure. I'm not sure if Loro Angusha. Okay, Eriko, for an
me
example,
finish.
Dino.
Finish first. Let me
Uh,
finish first. Like, this
okay.
is my observation on Talwai.
Uh, mm.
Whereas um when you go to a work school, Mang Mang or whatever,
They teach you
there's
lies.
there's yeah, it's like education is at the forefront, but like you get like an experience that
I see.
builds a rounded person. Wanchalwai, you get exposed to things that like you be like, oh, okay, like um there's more to life than what I've seen where I live. Wanchalwai, you get a chance to see uh I don't know, it's a different experience because like even like you have extramural things that like your school fees pays for that like uh
Uh, uh, uh.
funding does not necessarily include for like public schools Wantalwai, culturally, sports wise and everything. So like it just it makes for a more rounded person a lot earlier in life than like what a kid who went to like a public school
Mm,
probably
mm.
like by the time they're 25, 26, you've done like you've become that person at 18, 19 already. And it's like uh it's yeah, I guess like that's like what
Yeah,
I
I,
actually
I
noticed.
mean, yeah, I
Like
mean, think
think
about it, Paul. Uh,
mm,
yeah, I mean, you know how much effort it takes you for like when you come from like public school to be disciplined like later in your life compared to somebody like in like in a functional family. And I wouldn't say school like only because yeah, school
but
just put maybe a strong
I'm
emphasis on that.
saying that children who are going to public schools come from dysfunctional families because that's what I'm getting.
that's
And
the
I don't,
thing. Like,
I,
Okay. Let me
keep
maybe
hampering
the definition of it.
on,
Maybe
on
read the. But
families and
look, you know, like for you, for somebody.
I hear what Dino is saying because for me I feel like in terms of dysfunctional families, I feel like dysfunctional families like private school, public school, that's like a thing everywhere, Wantalwai.
it's a
So
Yeah,
common.
but
I don't think like even in terms of discipline, I think like whether you in public
yeah,
school or private
it,
school, like that's
okay.
not
In a ratio, Paul, for like kids who goes to public school, in a ratio out of 10, what like ukawa fabo guy
thing.
or like in the box of discipline, maybe out of 10 ukawa fabo guy compared to guys.
Oh, now I
That's
know
like that's
like
that's an
most of my
individual
friends,
thing. That's
most
an
of my
individual
friends that I
thing.
know went to public schools, and most of them are even graduating for the second, third time now.
No,
So
I'm not only speaking in the matter of graduating, you know. You see,
yeah, in
if like
general,
if
eh,
you, for an example, for somebody who like, let's say for simple things, coming home early, those sorts of things like don't drink too much, don't smoke too much, don't be a womanizer. We see those simple stuff. I mean,
I
if you're
see what
not really
let me tell you something. It's like even me personally, I have a taste.
yeah.
Like I like men from everywhere, ne? But one thing that I know is that men are men. Even if I go like halfway across the world, similarly, discipline is a personal thing. It does not matter
Exactly.
if you went to a public school or private school or whatever. Discipline is a personal thing. It all depends on how you grew up, around who, what are you telling yourselves, and the kind of people you hang around with, all of that. And
Yeah.
to actually debunk a lot of things that you are saying, if you actually research and find out, you'll find out that kids who went to private schools or kids who are much like
Zero.
who are on the richer side of lives are the ones
Zero
who are most
discipline.
likely to abuse drugs and
Yeah.
fall
Because they
out
have
in life, do
the
all of those things, than
the
children
money
who went
to
to
get it.
public schools.
And I had zero discipline, guys. Like not in terms of behavior, but like in terms of like school shit. Uh, I have a week for this, so
Uh,
I'll do it the day before I submit. You know, it's not like
Mm.
that's an individual thing. That comes
Mm-hmm.
with knowledge of self.
it is an individual thing. You see, let's say for an example, you see, uh, I'm not saying like I'm not justifying other things. You should understand me, But I'm saying like being exposed to certain environments, you are more likely to be the product of that. You understand me? Unlike I understand compare like whichever one and it's a personal thing. But for a lot of people, for an example, who are committing crimes or who are more I don't know what word to use, but a lot of people who are more exposed to crime, who commit a lot of crime, they'll tell you about common social can't find the word for this, so I don't wanna
So
listen. Being exposed to an environment where like a lot of criminalities happen, you understand me? So because a child cannot like pass judgment on those things, you see, he might think or he or she might think or this is the way, you understand me, compared to when somebody who's growing up like let me not use the word functional family, but somebody I don't know the should I say proper parenting, because parenting is all the same, but somebody who's like who grows up in a, I can't say healthy because it's too broad law now, but somebody who's like growing up in a like a well-rounded family out of like yeah longevity man, you understand you. So for that person, like not being aware, that person can continue to be disciplined throughout his life, you see. That person can always like I'd say well, like making the right decision, the proper decision without making any efforts, you understand me, because like he was exposed to that sort of healthy environment direct dysentery, you understand me, compared to somebody who na go botsa ka ene. And I understand it has to do with individual. Before your individual your your free choice or your free will, before that, being exposed to certain environment comes first before your individual thinking, before applying your rational thinking. Being exposed to certain
Do you actually know that Mara, do you know that people who are on the richer side of lives are most susceptible to alcohol abuse and crime than people who are from disadvantaged backgrounds?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, because you have the money to do it, and like you can literally, your parents can buy your way out of all the trouble you get into. So
Yeah.
it's
You have more
like
to lose also, and you've
it,
never been like at that point in your life, so like it's very easy for you to fall off the wagon instead
and
of
like
like that you need to work hard to like get things in the future because you're not used to doing all of those.
you don't have to be accountable for anything. But
Yeah.
as who comes from a disadvantaged uh, background, you know
yeah,
what it
but I
is on
understand
you.
and
But listen,
understand for that person, like he had a choice to pick like between like both walls, like
but I
Mutu.
also I also think you are looking over the fact, like look at the like I'd say 95% of the people, of the black kids who go to Hoërskool Nelstroom, let's say, for instance, they live in the hood, and it's not that like their parents are like highly educated or something. It's all with sacrifices. It's more like because like even like with us, it was like my mom used to tell me, or like, you can't afford to fail, like, school fees is that much. So, like, imagine having to repeat the same grade and having to pay all those thousands to do one grade, one time, like. So that sort of puts the ball back in your court, or like, that's where that sense of responsibility, like, now it's on you, one time, like. Want to
It's like
continue going here
how
and
about we define private schools? Do we like semi-private or private?
It
no,
doesn't
like,
matter as long as like not
either
government,
way,
you pay
either
some sort of fee.
model.
Amara guys,
Our
lo tse di a
our
bora ka
system.
moka tlo phela re discussa lo tse ka mo dibukeng. I'm now bolela ka something e relaxing man.
Because regardless, I mean, after all, Mona, we are all somehow experiencing the same life and like loading
No,
kawata, no kawata. So what's one?
it's like
I don't think so. I don't think we are experiencing the same life because that can never be possible.
It's
But
possible, you know. I mean, what kills me can also kill you.
yeah, I
but
understand that. But I'm saying
perspective,
that like
Yeah.
our
perspective,
struggles are different based on
Maybe,
our
perspective.
environment,
no,
background.
no, no. As for struggles are different. Everybody's suffering regardless. Like that is part and puzzle of life. You cannot like remove that from life. You see, it's life. You see, and
I
Mm.
think I think I
so
think I think I think two people can be in the exact same situation and feel differently about it.
Exactly.
Perspective plays a very big part in what life is to you. You
Hmm.
and you could like broke and heartbroken and all of that, and like somebody else could be in the exact same situation and they could find themselves happy. Could be the exact opposite because like your perspectives may differ. So I also don't agree that we experience life the same because you experience life based on your perspective, I think.
Hmm.
no, no. I'm not saying like in the matter of being of like how you view life. I'm saying like Paul. I mean, so
Mm.
many things. I feel like Nafona personally, I feel like there are so many things that brings us together than that sets us apart. You understand me?
Yeah, I hear what. Oh, okay,
I
I
mean,
hear what you. But
you see, a lot of people, just like now, we were like talking about classes. Is there a class to life? Because life is just life. It's either you have life or you don't have life. If you don't have life, you are dead. I mean, it is just as simple. But because we put
Life does
classes,
have classes.
huh?
Life does have classes.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how we're supposed to think, like black, blue, yellow, whatsoever thing. Those are the classes. Those are, I mean, how we supposed to think, and those are the reasons why a lot of we see a lot of indifferences. So you see, this one is like this, I'm like this, so I want to associate with you. So I don't know, but for me, I'm like,
for me, I feel like I agree with what Dineo said initially when she said, "Hore, like um, people tend to group themselves based on like what their similarities and everything, and like these are all like opinions and perspectives you had when you're in high school. Like I am friends with a gangs of people. Like even though we were in the same high school, like we didn't travel in the same social circles, or we just didn't like each other. And like people we like who went to different schools, we are all friends now. Like because like we have this one common thing called adulting showing us flames now. And then like you kind of realize, oh yeah, like you know what, like the things that used to like separate us in high school, like they were kind of stupid, you know. So, but
Very,
like
very
then,
stupid.
but but again now we are associating because we travel out, like we are now traveling in the same circle called adulting. Wantalwai. Now it
mm,
doesn't matter what's any for school, what or whatever or like what you're doing. Wantalwai. Oksalayo, you all adults now and like you know on the broader spectrum, life tends to influence you the same way then as when you were a kid. Because when you were a kid, you were not like as socially aware of what's happening in the world and how it affects you.
mm,
That's how I look
mm,
at it.
yeah, I feel like what I've noticed, and I can say like is the difference between like people who went to like semi-private and public schools is how we deal with white people.
Yeah.
right.
Now, I don't give a rat's ass. Whitewashing, I've been through all of that and I don't tolerate it and I don't like it. Whereas,
Mm.
like, people who went to public schools will be more afraid, more submissive,
Not all
more.
of us. Not all of
Yeah,
us.
not all of you. Obviously, it's never going to be like everyone. Mara, what I've
Yeah.
noticed, even like at work and everywhere else, they will be
You know,
more accepting of the bullshit that the other
you
race
know,
think.
I
I
understand
think
you and I hear
it's
you.
going to
I mean,
remain even bullshit most of the time.
imagine also before choosing race and all other things, I have to consider other things first, like my family and kids. As for you, the way I don't care, I gotta feed my kids. So for when you don't give a fuck, you don't care because maybe unal back up countless. But for me, I'm like, yo, man. I
No, but
mean,
it's
what
not only like having the backup JD countless. I feel like it's about maybe experience. And when you've tested
it is that it's like now. Let me give you an example. A lot of pastors they'll tell you like they'll tell you a lot of things like you should trust on God, and the guy is working and he's telling you God will feed you. Like, yo, man, you are working, man. Like every day you wake up, man, you're spanning, God will feed me. Hey, what? Irrational things, unrealistic things. You understand me? Because of the situation he is in, like he's saying those things. But if I tell him like resign, go spanning, and cut ties with little sausage chow, you'll see what the way I say things. By it, I'm not saying like that's why I'm saying like a lot of there are too many things that brings us together than that separate us. Because when you are at a certain level, you can say things the way you until you meet something else. You're like, I was wrong, and yeah, I mean that is life. Understand? And I'm not saying this in a way like life we women so on. No, 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 no. I'm not saying that in that way. I'm just saying like as long as you are under the sun, anything can happen to you. You understand me? So that's why I'm like I'm fit to conversation to the border because but anyway, as long as you push I mean because
No,
for
that's not how it
another
things
example, it's
in
like
our
this, look,
spectrum.
the guy I'm still going to church. The guy like is saying like God was feeding him for 4 years and he was not working. Motho o ne a phela ka mo rufung ya batswadi ba hae. Who was feeding him? Parents jai. So don't hey, ska thoma o bolelele tse sa di question. Before you say things, you should understand. I mean, check out bophelo ba motho. O kgona ho yo botsa- If I was like him, I was going to be saying the same things. Le tja di bolela, I was going to say like God is being feeding me.
So I don't think
Because
that's true.
you
And
don't think
like
that's
you are dumb
it's
enough
okay,
to
you know.
believe
Huh?
dumb enough to believe that God was feeding him, even though azanko abona letsogo la modimo le tswa from legodimo le tlo mo feeder. Like I feel like the
Exactly,
stupid one is
exactly.
the receiver.
It's it's a what?
The stupid one is the one receiving this message. Like how the fuck do you actually even how are you convinced by what this person is saying?
I mean, this person is the role model in the community. So some people are looking up to him because you had a role model. You don't look up to that guy because you can criticize him based on what you're exposed to. That's what I was telling you. You see, there are too many things that sets us apart. Not you're just going to separate them because I'm contradict. But every time we learn something, level up position, level up position, and I'm not saying, it's like this, it's like this for an example. White people have their advantages, their privileges, but regardless, man, we all gotta run the race, regardless. You see,
hmm.
and I
Mara,
cannot
that
spend
still
my
does not
life.
no, that still does not change the fact that I do agree white people have advantages and whatever.
So,
But
so
also
let's remove the
we
skin
can't
color.
keep
Okay, let's remove
no,
the
let
skin
me
color
finish. We can't
because
keep
there are other people
justifying
who have the
things.
advantages too. Politicians, kids.
Let me
Yeah.
finish. We can't keep justifying the fact that we are like feeding into the power that white people already have by how we act and say,
Mm,
but I have a family to feed, but I have this and I have that. We can't keep doing that because at the end of the day, it's not going to be solving all our problems.
mm,
I agree because at some point, like we have to look, we want to put ourselves in a position where we are able to have leverage. Wantalwai.
Hmm.
Uh,
So
uh,
at some point, it's like, and it's like for things to be powerful on a collective level, it has to start like with the individual and decisions he makes for himself. Wantalwai.
true, true.
Mm.
So if you decide to have like a baby in an environment where you know like you come from like you are 15 in the house and like nobody's working and like you've seen like the effects this has had and like you just decide to pile onto it, obviously like you're not going to be able to put yourself in a position where you can tell a white person to fuck off at work one time like
Yeah, true.
because me I've seen
Yeah,
like
just being realistic. That's why, like, I mean, there are a lot of things that brings us together. Even a white person, if Lena government situation, that person possibly 99 or 98% chances. So it is just that.
but I think we agree with that, but I think what Dineo is trying to say is at what point are black people going to start taking personal responsibility and say, "Hold on, like you know what, apartheid happened, and like white people aren't shit, but like now, like what am I gonna do to put myself in a better position?" You know, because
uh,
you can't keep just like pointing out the obvious.
blaming white people.
Right. Like you said, you are here. We all have to run the race, Wantalwai. But what
Uh, uh,
how are you going to run the race? Are you going to run it, on the white man's terms, or are you going to put yourself in a position where you can run it on your own terms? You
Exactly.
know,
Imagine now, like a company with like 2,500 black employees, and all of those employees are actually mistreated, and they're like, "Ah, we have a family to feed."
Again, it brings me back to what I was telling you earlier. Look, for an example, go bear, like bear again.
mm,
A lot of black people or black employees, as you put it, they were discharged from work. They let them go and they gave them their money. And there were like a couple of two or three. They are Indians. They were working over there, market hardware.
mm.
So those black people, because of what they were exposed to, let me know, individual decisions, it matters. Or yeah, you understand me. But what you are predisposed to, it counts a lot. Look at this. You wanna tell me like the three guys who go better about in the hardware one after more, but never be less smart come on. All three of them are smart. So all the 8 or 20 black people by Jilan Shelter one after Baba Dira, they are dumb.
They're not dumb. I wouldn't say
Uh,
dumb. I think that has more to do with like financial literacy than
Mhm.
like you know uh anything else, which is another like thing as well, whereas like uh the system really does not cater for financial literacy on Talwai. But the
Not
fact that
yeah, yeah.
but
uh,
the fact that we are like me and you are now like we are able to like identify or like, we've identified where the system does not cater for financial literacy on Talwai. This now
Uh,
presents you of
but
an
Paul,
opportunity.
sorry. But let's remove the system, because for let's say for
But
a person
everything
again,
you Kelej,
huh?
we can't remove the system because everything you've said up to so far has all those are all like ramifications of the system. Everything
System.
you've just said is like
Mm.
based on the system. Everything you've said right now is like we are a victim of the system. So how are we removing the system from this conversation when like your entire is like it all points back to the system. So we can't leave out the system.
Yeah, I you go a little matter, but maybe definition yeah other system of maybe a how got division or something like that. But I'm
What's your
gonna
definition?
put
Hmm?
there. Yeah, fair. I'm not. Let's talk about something relaxing, man. I mean, regardless, we are people after all. I mean, Yeah, we can argue all we like who gives a fuck who wins? You can all win, but at the end of the day, man, what's one?
It's not an argument, rather, as it's more like, I think like uh the world is about people, and like just understanding how people think, because now I think like as long as you have conversations with people and you understand how they think, you might have your differences and you might disagree, but I think that's like how you like just learn to understand like why people live the way they live and do things the
Exactly.
way they do.
I'm sorry to cut you, Paul, but I want to say this. Like what Philip is saying right now is the reason we are where we are as Black people, because we don't care about things that are important, that are gonna things
What's
that are gonna
what?
bring change. Instead, we want to do
Yeah.
something, things that are relaxing, things that have zero purpose in our
I
life.
don't care. I
Since that
don't
makes
care.
zero
Okay,
sense.
maybe I should say it. I'm afraid of a white man. Have you wonder what I'm gonna get in that, someone. I'm afraid of them.
Philip,
Every day.
let me tell you the truth. The truth is the white man is more afraid of you than you are afraid of
That's
him.
what you
That is
think. Mna ke a go spark ya ba bona.
That's how that
Damane ke
way.
a ba
White people are not superior to us. Re no ba fa ba
those rugby
tao, ba re
thighs, man.
so, re no ba ba tao.
Oh, those rugby thighs, so Daman utlampola man. You.
no, that's not true. They can't. No, they. That's not true.
Mm.
They are more afraid of you than you are afraid of them.
You
That's
know,
why
when
they
I'm
were that's why they were proactive in like taking your power before. That's I it's true. Like imagine
okay, okay,
Africans have just listen, wait, let me finish.
okay.
Like this is why black people have just been chilling in Africa, not colonizing anyone or conquering the world. But like as soon as white people learn that like there is a civilization that is smarter and stronger than them, they were in proactive in making sure where like these people like you know their power is nullified, because they
Mm.
looked at it like, what if these people
Ah.
decide to come and conquer us? So that is why like the system is the system, so that you cannot rise to your position of power because white people are scared of you.
Yeah,
Otherwise it wouldn't be like this.
exactly.
Batlhale na ba tlhabela di-steroids wa bona emana ke witnessitse lo mo o kgwalelle mo black sam ile blind and ke ba bang bae ke ba bona ba black sam and then and ke ANC ke politician e kgolo go modimo le go a nya go molela ka lebitso ke bone lo kgwalle
uh,
mo black sam ena black sam ke ngwana so na ke re
no, but here's the thing. Like, I think that's just what God does. Like, if you look at Africans, not South Africans, but like up there, like your West Africans and whatnot, these people are like they're big and strong and whatnot, but like they also have like, they are very peaceful in nature. Wanhlalwai. It's not asikuntwa dumela, wanhlalwai. And I think that's just like how God how God like made people. Like imagine if you were like this giant of a man with a violent streak and whatnot. Like I just think that's how
yeah,
God balanced
it. So
us.
when I Dineo, I never did our kanda. I mean, long group and our collective groups each other and are sharp. So when I come Wakanda go and I'll Dineo, Louis in there, let our Nelson Mandela, Lewo Mama, room. The heroes of South Africa, let's celebrate, not mind to celebrate. Then as long as we be Ramara, let's get regroup. Let's get recruit. Hey guys, personal know some now. Woman.
Wow.
I mean, that's what you want. Some of us we want to relax. We had yo man. I'm not gonna waste my entire life. Ke phela ke lo. Okay, nyogolo. Nkemele nke go en leta lo after now.
But here's the thing though, Philip. Like sometimes for you to get to a place where you get to relax, you need to fight first.
Exactly.
So
Otherwise, you will. live struggle to struggle to struggle to struggle. And guess what? Your offspring will also struggle, and their offspring will struggle until you decide to fight.
I,
Now I'm
I,
not.
I I honestly don't think we
I
are the
refuse to fight.
generation that get to relax. We still have to fight. I think
Hmm.
like the generations after us might get to relax, but I
You
just
guys
don't
were
think.
so. You guys went to old school, so you still have the stamina. So some of us we went to the public. Well, I was fighting ever since. So no, I'm tired. Go and fight, guys.
But fighting
Guys,
for what though?
Whatever
Fighting
thing
for what?
you were
What the
pushing.
fuck are you fighting for?
The changes, the transformation, the radical changes, name them. I mean, now I just wanna relax.
but like, how are you gonna relax when the 1% in South Africa hold 41% of the wealth in South Africa? Something I read this
There's
morning.
nothing I can
So
do. Sadly, there's
imagine
nothing I can do.
1% owns 41% of an entire country. So that means uh,
Well,
the
those part, I don't even know that person. You see, knowing too much, it's a problem. Don't knowing too much.
It's not
Hey,
a problem. It's not a problem because, like Ranibialo, black people are struggling. People
uh,
are from internship to internship. Some people can't even find jobs.
because our uncles are stealing money. We know that. We
no.
see that.
Besides that,
Oh,
guys,
besides that, let's leave the uncles out of this because even white people are stealing money. People are just stealing money. Mara, the thing is, we
Yeah,
are
but in a private
different.
sector, that is white people not tax money. Black people tax money. Hey.
no. But
No,
like
the
even
white people
during
take money
apartheid,
because they don't see it.
when the
And they
government of
want
white,
to throw black people in your face so that you blame them and so that you stay in the same place because you're busy blaming your people.
I'm not blaming. Yeah, you can say I'm blaming, but I don't care, man. I don't care.
That's the problem.
Dino, you still have the energy. Go Wakanda. Let me relax. But for real, man. I mean, go
No,
do. I mean,
I'm actually bothered because you are going to populate with some of our family members and you all are gonna be relaxing and that's not what I want. Okay?
I'm important, by the way. Anyway, Maratare, man, I mean, if you feel something is burning you, I mean, that's your calling. Be a prophet. That's your calling. It's burning you. It's not burning me. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. I
The pub-
understand your issues because, like, yeah,
the public schools are crying right now because they are not well represented because their comrade is letting them down by saying he does not care and he wants to talk about something relaxing while the country is in fire, while black people are suffering, while all of these things are happening and we have COVID in on our hands and he wants to talk about what? Mjolo, basically. And something that was not even for the future, for the present,
you
and for the
know,
past. Hi, Jesus.
talking about
Ah,
those
no.
things will kill me faster compared to talking about Mojolo. Mojolo, I'll be happy for at least, I don't know. I'm a black person. I get money. I buy expensive cars. I don't care about petrol and financially planning for it. For as long as when I pitch up clubs and actually let me not say this if I incriminate a bit.
See, that's the problem. That is the motherfucking problem. But I feel like we just need a whole counseling session for you, like a whole laid out, structured counseling session for you because, oh my goodness, this is triggering every nerve in my body.
Yeah. As for counseling therapy, yeah, I can agree with you on that one. Therapy is very important for black people. That's why I'm saying, for me, I feel like I just want to relax. If this thing is burning you, my sister, continue. Answer your calling. Don't recruit us. That's you.
It's not a calling. It's not a calling.
it's a responsibility as long as you're black. To be honest,
Yeah.
that's just what
Okay.
it is.
I know you can't relax. We are right here because your grandfathers and your grandmothers were relaxing.
You woke people, hey, now I'm tired. Let me relax.
We are not woke.
It's not even about being woke, honestly. Because not for me, like, let me make a simple example. Like when we had like I think it was in 2016, there was a week in winter where there was no water and no electricity, and a strike or a riot happened, Mamuji Mulle. And uh, the riot never surpassed uh, the the train tracks that separate like town from the township. And furthermore, like if you went to the Total petrol station there near Land Bank there, white people were there with their cars and guns, ready to guard their property, even though the riot was so far from them. But like
Mhm.
because they were concerned about their things and how it would affect them, they like uh, they made a plan. So like the same way like something that was happening so far from them bothered how it might impact them. I think like if we were bothered about the things we should be bothered about, we'd be a lot farther along. I think the reason why the ANC is still the ANC is because we are not bothered. I think the reason why things are so slow to change is because we are not bothered enough, or not enough of us are bothered. There are over 40
So,
million people in South Africa. There are only 4 million white
okay,
people.
I understand that. I have seen an situation based on the way things are. I cannot save 14 billion people or 3 billion, save 7 people or 8 people, and that's okay with me. If everybody in that 14 billion something, they could do the same, then we are fine. I mean,
Yes, but you just the thing is you just want to relax. You don't even want to save the 7 you can save. Like that's
uh,
the that's the
as
true
for
reality of that's the true reality of it. You can't save the masses, but
He
like you
just
yeah,
can change
weep
you
and
can
go to
change your
all of this.
lineage.
That is what he wants to do.
yes,
Yeah.
but you're also doing what you want to do, Dineo. And you
Everyone,
don't hear me. You're trying to be a hero. If you're a hero, I mean, be a hero.
No,
That's
no, no,
you.
no, 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 no. I don't think anybody wants to fight. I just think everybody like it's something
it's
you
about
recognize that.
recognizing the socio-economic problems we have and consciously making a decision to try to make things better, starting from around you and not relaxing and saying, as long as I buy a nice whip and go to all the lit clubs.
Yes, lit clubs. Yeah. Say that word again. Say that word.
On a lighter note, I I had a very stupid thought the other day. Like the other day, I googled my own net worth and like I didn't even come up because like wow, you know, I didn't even come up. I didn't even pop up
Mhm.
anywhere. And then I asked myself, I wonder how much money I've accumulated in the 29 years I've been alive. You know,
Yeah, I wanna now you're touching something very important, man. Because of the same thing. Like imagine, man, I'm like almost 30. Yo, Mfethu, this thing is bad, like seriously bad. Like imagine, man, yo, awa, lebare man. Because you see, Dineo, this is one of the things we can like talk about. I mean, financial literacy is not as a country.
yeah, but like now you're the one making it serious. You wanted to relax, but now you don't want to relax anymore.
Oh, yeah. But
Now
finances
it's
are very
just
important because that is a burning issue for me because I failed to save, and I know saving is very important.
So when are you only concerned about things that affect you
And you
personally?
alone. You
And you
alone. He doesn't care about
You
other
know,
people. He cares about
guys,
himself.
guys, guys. One day you're gonna grow up and realize being selfish is very important. Being selfish is very important. It will save you. Right now, you won't hear me when I say this. Being selfish, it will save you.
that's not true. Tell
Being
me,
selfish
no.
is very
Bring all
important.
those selfish
Super
people who want to get
paramount.
their nice whips
On
and
top
go
of
into
the
all of
food
the
chain,
clubs.
on the
Bring
pyramid,
them
there,
to see what
selfish.
they have accomplished in their lives.
Guys, just Google your net worth. Let's stop bickering. Google your net worth and then I don't know, just check yourself first before selfishness and everything comes in the way. Do that.
Young heard me talking about googling your net worth. It's uh, like when you Google yourself and Google even suggests, oh, you meant this guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that was me. It's like, you don't even know who I am. So yeah, for me it was just like, I thought like, yeah, it would be fun to estimate how much money you think you've made your entire life. That's
Yeah.
what I wanted to ask you. Do you think it's over 1 million or under 1 million? Yes, no, million, under, anyone?
Obviously, all of us are going to be like, you know what? We are shooting through the roof. Me, I
I'm
will
not.
show.
Imatata. Mm.
And
I tell you
you know
the
what the sad
finances,
part
man.
is?
Yo.
The sad part is the people who do have 1 million are not even considered millionaires. So
Yeah.
Yo.
yeah, I think like they start counting you amongst the millionaires when you have like 7 million or something. So
Mara, there are people who do have that million, but they spend it and they chow it. So
they blew it.
blew it. So
Yeah, but I think maybe like they too trying to accumulate millions, man. The figure is just I don't know. Maybe for some of you it's not too big, but for me it's too big. I think you should. I personally, I feel like you should work on like getting like 500 rands and like growing it up, growing from there. Yeah. And like 1 million, yeah. It's like this. Like think about it, Paul. Like you are 20 and you're in a Hana, right? Like how much money you've saved, your net worth by one, and the the amount of money that you had access to. You
No, I don't think I've seen millions, but I don't think I've ever had access to them.
to money, a lot
I
of money.
I don't think I've had access to that much money, which is like, yeah. I think personally, I think all the money I've had access to, like I've cashed out on it and made it. The money that I did have access to,
I think it
but
doesn't have anything to do with like the amount of money you've had access to, because if we are being really honest, most people never had
Uh,
like access to a lot of money. It just depends on the value of your dreams. That's all
that's
it
true.
the
is.
thing.
We
That's
don't
the
Yeah.
dream
like,
on the same level.
but that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, that's
Yeah.
why people who like win the lottery tend to like squander that money because
Yeah.
nobody who ever became a millionaire, like by hard work was ever surprised when they got there because like you become a millionaire in your mind before you can become a millionaire physically. So that's just the thing.
Yeah. But I think Paul, each and every exposed or we had access to a lot of money. Taking what Dineo was saying, I mean, check the ratio. If like like in reference of tithe, like from Utomulumo Grand Tithe, Agaran, let's say 100 rand. 14% or 10%, yeah, you gotta get 10 rand or another. I'm not good at math.
Phillip, I promise you, even if you took all the money I got, like attending school to like for pocket money and through varsity and all the money I made that when I was working or like through business, I promise you it does not even make six figures.
Uh,
If I put all of it away, even the money you drank or you just like spend on leisure activities, if you put all of that away, it still doesn't make six figures.
yeah, but that's a lot of money in reference to what you had before. You see,
It's
because
not.
right now I never had money. I've never like if I get 1,000 rand, like from now, I don't have anything. I don't even have like 30 rand with me. So if I get 1,000 rand, that's a lot of money. That's how I think that's how we should. You see, it's a lot of money because you're like zero to. I like
But
comparing myself to.
different. I also know friends of mine who are super broke, but they have a very expensive taste. And if they have 5,000 rands, they're like, I'm very broke.
That's
But they are,
me.
you get it. You get what
That's
I'm trying.
me.
Uh,
Because
It's like
because
it's not
like
about the
the
amount of
way
money
it's about
you
how
had
you
when
want to
you
live.
were
It's
16.
about how you want to live more than how you are living.
Exactly. Like some people are living
exactly.
expensive lives, but they don't have money, and that's why most of them will acquire their dreams because of that taste that they have. So, for example, if somebody comes to you and they want to sell you something, because whenever you see 1,000 rand is a lot of money. If they say I'm giving you 10,000, you're gonna be like, yeah, sure, bring it on. Mara, someone else, if they say I'm giving you 10,000, they're like, no, let's make it 50 or let's make it 150. You get what I'm trying to say? It's more so
Ah,
about the value that you put on your dreams and the value that you put on yourself.
let's call it a day. We couldn't talk shit about Dineo because she was here. Ah, but it's fine.
Mhm.
You must subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, follow,
Yeah,
comment,
yeah,
share.
can,
Turn on
can,
notification bells.
I didn't see Philip. We are still here.
I think they are different ways to kill a cat, and yeah, like I think everyone gets there, however they see fit that they can get there. So
Mm,
there's more ways to approach how to get to a milli than just like being an entrepreneur. I mean, I know people who are CEOs who didn't start shit, but like they went to school and like got that corporate experience who are
mm,
earning like 400 million rand bonuses a year.
mm,
So it's just about understanding who you are, what your strengths are, and
yeah.
then like from there leveraging those things to get you where you want to get. I think some people just like, yeah, I could never work for someone, and like they have to start their own thing.
Just knowing
you
the right people, knowing the right way to go, just knowing the right things to do also.
yeah, the right people always get you there. I think like that's another thing, like when we're talking about when we're on the issue of public and private or model C and what schools. I saw this other post the other day that like like people take their kids to these private schools because they know what like they're helping their kids uh build lifetime connections. Like if you go to an alumni of certain private schools, you see, or like the minister of what and the mang of what, and they all went here. And then like it starts making sense to you, like how all these people are doing business together and how everybody's winning. It's like a group of elite associates. So in a country where like who in the world actually when we live in a world where who really matters, it makes sense for me that like you'd actually take that or like make that private school investment as well.
Mm.
But anyway, let's call it a day. Oh yeah, before we forget, uh, I guess we must tell the people that we will only be on twice a month now. Uh, every second week, so we will be on the second week and the last week of the month instead
Yes.
of like every Monday.
Reason being because Paul had a baby and he's breastfeeding.